So what's up? It's been a while. So this is gonna be different. What we're gonna do? We're gonna work in Ableton. I found that the workflow is pretty similar to Mixcraft, which is like my go-to DAW ever. For those of you who followed me for a long time, they know I don't like to limit my options. I like to know how to work in any software. So today we're gonna be cooking up some beats in Ableton. So what we gonna do first? For me, like in Mixcraft, usually because we don't have this mode right here where you can input patterns. Yeah, this is for patterns. Remember when in Mixcraft you can hit P to go into pattern mode, where you have lines of patterns and you can fill them in with any type of thing, melody, drum, anything, and then you can play them back. You can either assign like you can use MIDI assign to use your keyboard to trigger them, and then record a track by triggering them. It's like playing a band basically, but I don't like that. It's fast for some people. It's much more faster, but I like to be much more hands-on. Most of the time I don't use it, or I might use it to create like 4 patterns and then go directly into the timeline view and build the track from there. But for this particular thing, I think I'm gonna start in here. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna add some drums. Let's import some samples, like for no hassle. Let's take our time. So you can add the folders just like not like in Mixcraft, but in FL Studio you can add your folders. You can do the same here. So if you have like a folder in which you have all of your samples, you can add that folder. So every time you need to import some samples, you just go to the folder, and then you can see all of your samples. Like all my samples are right here. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna use let's use London on the track. Okay, so we basically done. And what you do if you want to save it, so for the whole drum rack, if you need the entire drum rack, what you need to do, I'm just gonna delete this. Just hit delete, move to trash. So what you do, you click here, not here. Here's just the sample, but if you want everything, you're gonna need to click here. See, like everything gets selected, and you right there, and then you save it, so the next time you want to use it, you can use it. Another feature that I like in Ableton is this. So it's called capture, and what it is, like you can play ideas without needing to record, and then you can hit it, and then it's gonna show you like the last things you've played, and then you can select the loop you want and keep it. This is good because you just play the ideas, and then it's gonna give you the tempo depending on how fast you are playing. So I'm gonna select the loop, what I want. Then I'm gonna go to crop clip. I'm gonna select again, then I'm gonna go to quantize settings or Control Shift here. I haven't gotten used to the shortcuts yet. It's gonna come. So what I do, I'm gonna select the quantization that suits. So I'm gonna duplicate this. That's Control D. We're gonna do the exact same thing. By the way, the reason why, of course, it's part of having as much knowledge as possible, but it's also because there's no harm in trying new things, you know. Plus this gives you like an advantage if you can like work in multiple softwares. It's very good. So I'm just gonna save that. I want it to go right here, so no, that's it. Okay, we're just gonna put it here, and then on the second one we're gonna put it on the fourth. So how do I do that? I hit B. When you click B, you get the pen. That means you're editing, and if you want a certain note, like a fourth note, a quarter, or an eighth note, or 16th, you this is how you get it. You just right click, and then you select whichever grid, and then the default note length is gonna be applied. So that's how we do it. So that's too slow. I think it's gonna need to be in, let's try to 32. So this one is gonna be the long one. What I'm gonna do is select this and then use another. I don't like the sound that much. So that's pretty much good. So we save, Control D again. Let's delete this pattern. We're gonna play something else. So it's gonna be at 32. Let's do this 32. This means every time I click, like say it's playing, if I click, it's just gonna play like 30. It's gonna wait this time in order to play where I put the play. So So that's pretty much it for the drums. I'm gonna select all 4 tracks. I'm gonna do Control G to group them, or you can just right click and go to group tracks, Control G. So now you have them in the same group, same as we did it back in Mixcraft. And you can see like it shows you like the whole thing. When you click the group, you get everything in relative to each other. Like you can see like the hits where it matches everything. So it's good to have this type of view. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna hide everything to manage the space, and I'm gonna add let's find something like a synth or something. So now that's already good. So you've seen how to use the mixer view or the pattern view to make a track. This is basically a track. You have all of your drums right here. You have two melodies, the synths. What's missing is basically the bass. And how we're gonna bring that in. I already have my own bass, my own sounds, and my own bass. I created in Massive. So let me just get that. It's my own version of the Spins 808. So this is bugging, and I didn't save. Let me just save real quick. So what I like about this, you remember, like, I don't know if it's the problem. I don't know if I'm the only one who has that problem with Mixcraft, where it crashes and there's no options of getting your files back, or it crashes but there's no chance. Even if you wait for hours, 10 hours, I once waited 5 hours. It was like not responding, and I waited for 5 hours and it didn't change a thing. So we're gonna go to my user library, select spins, because I named it spins 808, so it's here. I'm just gonna drop it in. It's loading. Yeah, you can see I'm using the crusher, the Camel Crusher, and I tweaked it a little bit. I'm using Bass Maker, tweaked it a little bit. Here I'm using a compressor 5 to 8, very compressed, because it would get louder at some point. Since I'm using distortion on it on Massive. And basically the other stuff I didn't change that much, and there's the range. I pushed it to 50 dB and minus 37 on the threshold, and the makeup is on 8.3 dB. The Massive, this is basically what it's doing. I have it on 36 and I'm using the envelope. See, it's going up, but it's taking too much time, so you can hear like the difference when it starts on like 36, which is very high for an 808, and then it goes back to 0, so it takes kind of a time, which is where like the delay, which is like a characteristic of the Spins 808, where every time like you hear it hit, it feels delayed. So this is how you do it. This is the delay, sort of. So it hits, but you really hear it at its most right here. And envelope 4, just like it's modulating the amp or the volume in some sense, and it's delayed a little bit too, as you can see the delay right here. These other waves, I didn't change them, didn't change anything here, didn't change anything here. So everything is pretty much standard, and that's how you get the Spins 808 basically in Massive. So this is how it sounds. So the Camel Crusher is disabled, but if I enable it, so it's giving more grit, more punch to it. I'm gonna try to quantize, let's say 8. I'm not sure it's gonna work. No, it's not gonna work. wavy like the 7 seas. Enemies, I can do it, and the shooting like an enemy. Whoa, go to the. So it's pretty much complete. What I will do next, I will basically put it right here, and then I would try to take everything from here, from the pattern view, and then put it in the timeline view and arrange everything, but that would take too long, so I'm just gonna leave the video here. Sub, like, comment, ask questions, and I'm gonna try to do another video where I don't know if I'm gonna be using the same beat we just made. I think it will be better, or if I'm gonna be creating a new one, but I'm gonna show you how to take everything you just did in here in this panel and put it right here. So until next time, subscribe, comment, follow me on Instagram. Let's get it popping. Peace.